What's up, people? Yeah, guess who's back? Bishop, I know. Where have you been? It has been a while since I uploaded a video last. Sometimes life happens, but we're back. I've got teeth in my mouth, and yeah, let's do a little recap, huh? Why not? It's been a while. So, guys, my story is so long and detailed and complicated that I had to write it down, and I don't quite have a teleprompter yet. It's on my list, one of these days. So, forgive me if I glance over here because I'm going to read some stuff and, it helps me tell a better story. So, towards the end of 2019, I made a tough decision. After many years, maybe a decade or two of having bad, ugly, damaged teeth, I made my appointment at the oral surgeon and to have all my teeth removed. It was scary. It haunted me, but I knew there was no saving my teeth. I was cursed by the yellow, the Mountain Dew. So it was time. The kind lady at the oral surgeon, she said, okay, March 24th, don't eat or drink anything for 8 hours before, which, is pretty easy. I was nervous. The day was circled on my calendar and it was slowly growing closer and just scared. But as January and February arrived, this strange thing began happening. A pandemic or the end of the world, depending on who you talk to. On March 17th, St. Patrick's Day of 2020, the governor of my state shut us down. Surgery canceled. Sorry about that, Bishop. It's the end of the world. I was a bit relieved. The scared little boy part of my brain, it leapt for joy, right? It didn't matter that the end of the world was approaching. I didn't have to lay in that chair, let him prick my arm, put me to sleep, cut the remains of my broken teeth out. I was a free man once again. Yes, a free man with ugly teeth, but hey, it's the end, right? There's no need to be all judgy. The pandemic came and went. We all wore masks, so I guess it was slightly easier to hide my teeth when I laughed or smiled. But eventually, the oral surgeons started to do their thing again. They called me one day. They said, hey, do you want to do this again? Reschedule? I told them that I would have to think about it. In truth, I had thought about it for more than enough for one lifetime, I think. But having my first date canceled, well, now there was this loophole in my mentality where I could tell my inner child, don't worry, that second day will probably be canceled too. So, you're good. November 11th, 2021 was Veterans Day, and it was almost 2 years after my first date that I had circled. I made a little video of myself in front of my phone's camera, and I wanted to show my old teeth. Like the night before my surgery, I wanted to see how I looked, because if I ever lacked the motivation later, this would be the video I would go to and say, oh yeah, you had to do what you had to do, Bishop. I wanted some confidence. I asked my girlfriend to spend the night so she could drive me to and from the surgery in the next morning, and I was scared. I held her tight. The morning came, despite my not sleeping through the night. We drove all the way across town, made it to the surgeon's about a half hour early. I didn't want to be late. My heart was racing. My mind is just screaming, run away, you don't have to do this. They won't be able to catch you. You're a fast runner. But I resisted. In the end, it took all of my willpower to submit, to just lay in that chair, to let them poke my arm with their superpower sleep medicine. And it didn't take me long to regret my decision. Old broken teeth were better than no teeth. Yeah, old broken teeth were better than no teeth. I know, it sounds kind of weird. Losing my teeth divided my consciousness. One part of me was happy. I'd finally done it, right? I'd finally overcome my fears. I made a positive change in my physical health. I had made progress, sweet, juicy progress. The other part of me was miserable, angry, hurtful. I could no longer talk clearly. I couldn't eat like everything. I was a freak, toothless. And oh, how does that one sting? That's a bad one. Over the next few weeks, I battled myself, the opposing sides inside of me just warring. The negative side seemed so loud, so powerful. The positive side, well, I would go to the dentist's and I would say, hey, here I am, you know, I'm ready. Here's my empty mouth. Can I please have my teeth now? The cute little dental assistant that helped me, she would explain that my gums needed to solidify and to harden for a bit. They were still too swollen from my surgery. And they were still changing. It was still just too early for the creation of dentures. I didn't know what she was talking about. Here, I thought, take my fistful of money and just give me teeth. Fix all my problems. What's wrong with these people? I wanted to tell her how miserable I was, how close to slipping into a complete breakdown, but she was really cute. She had a perfect smile, no ugly teeth, and she'd hover over me and put her fingers in my mouth. And if you've never tried, it's kind of hard to be upset at a cute little girl who's putting her fingers in your mouth. It just doesn't work, you know? So more than 100 days later of waiting, I was finally handed my new dentures. I couldn't wait to pop them in my mouth. I get to be normal again, better than normal. When I tried to put my uppers in, they didn't fit. They didn't feel good. The doc stood before me with a confused look on his face. We moved on to the lowers, my bottom dentures, and I tried, and same thing. Doc says, well, what if you push them down a bit? So I try. I grab both the back and the bottom and I squeeze, and you know, they snap. They literally snap around my gums, and ouch, this huge blast of pain. My eyes grow the size of quarters. But my lower dentures, they're in now. They're on there good, hanging on for dear life. I had to like pry them off, and it was painful, guys. Just Doc said that it would take some getting used to. He tweaked them a bit and said that they needed some adjusting. Yeah, adjusting. He used a fancy tool to grind away like the bottom, the outsides of my dentures, and he would rinse them off, give them back to me. I'd try them on again, painfully. He'd grind a little more and he'd wash them off and stick them back in my mouth, and over I would try, and every time, oh, this pain, God, it hurt. So he says, hey, you know, let's work on the upper dentures now. And I said, no, you know, Doc, I'm good. I've had enough pain for the day. I'm gonna just take them, and I'll come back and see you in a week or so. On the drive home alone, I told my negative self that my gums were just sensitive, you know. This was gonna take some time and some practice, but I could do it. The negative self had just listened and smirked. I tried again a few times, tried to wiggle my uppers into my gums, but they just wouldn't go. Pressing hard acrylic into soft healing gums is not a fun evening, let me tell you. Negative self claimed a victory, and I was sad. I tried to pick myself up, tried to wear my bottom dentures as proof. See, I could do this. It was just going to take some time. Positive self tried to negotiate with the terrorist. Truce, it screamed. We're just going to wait a bit. We're going to pause, take some time to rest up, heal a bit more, then back at it. This is only a break. This is okay. After all, it had been 100 days already. What's another 20 or 50? As the days went on, negative self grew stronger and positive weaker. I felt myself spinning ever downward, my hopes fleeting. In a desperate attempt to reclaim myself, I decided I would do what negative self said was impossible. Here's how that conversation went. I don't care, I'm still a person. It's only a small piece of me. My teeth are like 6% of my whole body, right? My whole physical body. Some people have it worse. I have legs that work, and hands, and ears, and eyes. Yes, but you know how they judge you. They hear you talk, and you're dismissed. They see you hide your mouth. They know what a loser you are. They all know, and it'll be like this for the rest of your life. Toothless. That's the one that always got me. Toothless. That one word, oh how it stung. But confront my demons I must. The only alternative was hating myself for the rest of my life. I made a video, just me talking, posted it on the YouTube, show the world my flaw, right? My secret, my biggest fear. Show how vulnerable I can be. And it worked somewhat. Negative voice slowly faded. Not entirely gone, just a bit more manageable. But the days of the break slowly turned into weeks. About a month later, I returned to the dentist and once again told the doc about my problems wearing my uppers. Bottom dentures were good-ish. I was getting used to them. They were, for the most part, fine. Not really comfortable, but I was a newbie after all. And be quiet, negative voice. Doc says, well, let's modify the uppers a bit more. We'll do the adjustments thing again. He tweaks them again and again, and each time I wince as this lightning bolt of pain surges through my skull, and I try to touch them to my upper gums. At the end of our appointment, Doc says something odd. He looks at me and he says, you have these weird bumps, these weird protrusions all over your upper gums, and I think you need more surgery. My positive self was crushed. Negative self shouted, I told you so. I walked out of the dentist office. I jumped in my car in the parking lot and I just wept, big baby tears. I didn't want to be here anymore. Didn't want to go home to my tiny apartment. I didn't want to be anywhere. Negative voice was right. I was doomed. On autopilot, I just drove. I pick a direction. I drove east, turned the radio up. Don't think about it. My fight or flight had been activated and negative self picked flight. Don't look back. Just go. Drive and keep driving. Go a little crazy, or a lot. I drove 2 cities over before I realized that I had left my driver's license and my debit card in my work shirt at home. That's how life works. I left the highway, I found a little diner, and I bought some lunch on the emergency credit card that is always stashed in my vehicle. You gotta have the emergency credit card, right? Then it was time for positive voice to step forward. It's just an obstacle, a setback. Life isn't perfect. It's all about your attitude. It's funny and a little strange how all of these phrases we're taught can either have so much impact or so little. I had to pump my positive voice chock full of meaning, determination. I returned to my apartment and I tried my best not to think about it. Just go back to the normal that is having a half empty mouth full of teeth, It's not so bad. At this point, I had been perfecting the subtle art of not thinking about things. You can still function, still do a lot of things in this life without really thinking. I went to work, autopilot, I hung out with my girlfriend, I did the dishes and laundries and groceries and just avoided thinking about it. In April of 2022, the mask mandate that had said we were meant to wear masks was lifted. Life started to return to normal and there was no more hiding. I hated the mask, but now people can see my teeth again and my half-empty mouth, and now, with no excuse for the way I talked, no mask to blame it all on. In May, things got worse, again. My bottom dentures started to feel really big. They were already big, but it's hard to explain. Not only were they feeling really tall, but they were also feeling really wide. I know, it's hard to explain. What is easier to explain is that my gums were shrinking. That's it. 6 months after my surgery, my mouth was still healing, and this made my lower dentures now unwearable. 6 months, my negative voice said. 6 months later, and you've got 2 very expensive lumps of acrylic in the little brown coffin box. Yep. Expensive. No teeth in your mouth. Things became difficult for me again, and no video on the YouTube could save me. It was all I could do to hang on. Positive voice called for a break again. No teeth, fine, whatever. It was all I could do to hang on. I was not going to be broken again. I was just going to have to get better at the not thinking about things thing again. 4 very long months later, I returned once again to my dentist and his cute little assistant. I explained everything that had happened about how my gums had changed, and that I wasn't able to use my dentures. The bottoms, not for about 4 months. The tops, never. My doc became a bit defensive. He was holding my fistful of dollars, and I have his product that I can't use. It's a mystery, and not the fun kind with the dog and the jinkies. Doc goes back to his original plan. You need more surgery. Why didn't you go get the surgery? I sent him the referral. I don't want more surgery, I said. It has taken me so very long to heal from the last surgery. I don't want to start all over again. I shook my head as I left, but it wasn't quite as bad as the first time. No need to fight or flight. Just the bad luck of my life, I conceded with negative voice. By this time, I had become a minor expert in the not thinking about things thing. But positive voice, as small and quiet as he was still there. And every once in a while, he would say something like, hey, we could take another small step, we could make progress. We could just call the oral surgeon, see what he says, no investment, no hope. Just try. One day I talked positive voice up real loud. I was sick of it, sick of negative voice. Who's the freaking boss of me? I called the oral surgeon and I asked for an appointment. The kind lady, she says, okay, sure, we can get you in for a consultation in November. Negative voice reminded me that it wasn't even August yet, so November, just for a consult, She said she was sorry that they had been super busy, behind because of the pandemic. Negative voice wants to be like, hey, if it takes 2 months to get a consult, is it going to take another 2 months after that to actually do the work? And we're looking at 4, 5, 6 months down the road. I'm in a hurry now. I need to do this. What are you waiting for? In November, I walked into the oral surgeon's office and I thanked the doc. This is the guy that had removed all my teeth about a year ago, and I didn't get to say thanks. I was pretty messed up on the way out. I had my mouth packed with gauze. I was still pretty fuzzy, kind of felt like a dream. I don't remember getting in the vehicle, so I didn't get to thank him. So I looked at him now with clear eyes and I said, hey doc, I thank you very much. What you did for me. I know it was just another day on the job for you, but for me, I will remember you forever, and I appreciate you. I was all kinds of in a good mood that day. I had waited patiently. I was making progress. Positive voice was going to be proud of me this day. So the doc looks in my mouth. He looked at my x-rays. He looked at my old dentures. He eventually said something rather confusing. He said, I don't know what bumps he's talking about. I don't know what I'm supposed to be seeing here. I don't understand why you're here, and why haven't you been wearing your dentures? What did you say? For like 6 months now? Almost a year? I was growing frustrated. Negative voice was throwing his tantrum again. It wasn't going to be flight this time. Yes, the other doc says I need surgery. I waited all this time. I come to you, I thank you, and I tell you I want this new surgery. Do the new surgery, damn it. What's wrong with you? Just get it over. I want to be normal again. So I'm trying to be respectful to the doc that I am respecting, but he wants to send me back to my dentist to get clarification, and then the dentist is going to send me back to this guy for another consult for more. I left the old surgeons. Fuggity fug fug. That's how I swear sometimes, with an F-U-G. Because it's taken me a while to look on, to work on my F sound. So, fug. On the drive home, my mind is again at war. The dentist doc sends me to the oral surgeon doc. The oral surgeon doc looks at me. He sends me back to the dentist doc. The dentist doc again sends me back and back and back and forth. And what the? Come on. All this time, they're bling-blinging my insurance company for consults. It feels so crooked, I'm just a guy with no teeth. Negative voice is smelling victory now. We can live without teeth. We're fine. We eat food. We talk. We don't talk clearly, but it takes about a week. I listen to negative voice, and I don't know, after a while I sort of just drown it out. It says the same old, like a broken record. Yes, I know I'm miserable, a freak, I'm toothless. I'm almost numb to it all now, you know? You get to that point. Positive voice, well, he starts saying some different things. He doesn't want to surrender. He says, hey, what if we go get another opinion, a new perspective? What if we just open the old phone book that is the Google Maps and we just type in dentures and we pick one we haven't tried yet? Let's just see what they say, why not? What have we got to lose at this point? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, you're right. Fuck you, negative voice. We're doing this thing. About a week after walking out of the oral surgeon's office, I make a call to a place called Affordable Dentures. After spending as much as I did on my first batch of dentures, I'm looking to go minimal this time. Minimal. The lady on the phone says, I can stop in tomorrow. No 2-month wait. I meet some new assistants. They're not quite as cute, but you know, a new doc who is all about helping me. And I don't tell them my past. I don't tell them about my struggles. I am just an average guy, just walking in, getting some dentures. I'm brand new to this. I want to get his unspoiled opinion. I don't want him to feel like he has to push me in a direction, you know, just let's be plain. He looks into my mouth for a bit and he says, okay, let's do it. Impressions are made of both my tops and the bottoms. A day later, they're ready for pickup. No wait 4 weeks after impressions like my first set. I try not to be skeptical. I try not to listen to negative voice. Positive voice says, you know what? Whatever happens, it'll be okay. I kind of like positive voice like that. When handed my new dentures, I popped the bottoms in first. Easy peasy. I remember this. They feel pretty good. My uppers, nope. Same story. Super impossible. Can't even get them to seat right. New doc seems confused, but not by the not fitting. More by the fact that I don't seem worried or confused. He can't figure me out. At all. My face is plain. To me, this is normal. New doc doesn't understand, and that's okay in my world. This is how second opinions sometimes go, positive voice tells me. I thank the new doc and his team. I take my new dentures and go. At least I have bottom of teeth again, so progress. Progress is important. And I'm learning. You know, I haven't given up. I'm figuring out how to make positive voices words a tad louder. Negatives, a smidge quieter. It's not an easy assignment. I watch YouTube videos about other people's denture stories. I learn the vocabulary, so much to cram into my noodle. I learn about the various products. One is called Denture Fit, that seems to be the miracle magic of many people's wishes. I slowly perfect my bottom dentures. I can wear them for long periods of time. They're still not comfortable, but getting better. My upper dentures, they still sit in a little blue box this time, little blue coffin. It's fancy. In December, more than a year after losing all my original teeth, I watch a video where a guy is showing how to do the adjustments at home, by himself, with a little tool called a Dremel. It looks fairly easy. Positive voice says, hey, we should try this. Negative voice says, oh yeah, you're just gonna fug it all up, right? Positive voice still has his argument, the one that trumps all the others, the one that I am compelled to heed. It says, what have you got to lose? I go to the hardware store around Christmas time. I buy a little Dremel. So I think it's like 60 bucks. This is my little Dremel. I think I got it from like a Home Depot or maybe a Lowe's. So, you know, you can find them. They're on the internet. I take it home and I set my Dremel right next to my little blue coffin box because they're going to get to know each other. You know, that's how it works. Every once in a while I look at them, the pair, upper dentures that won't work and the Dremel that has never even been opened. My girlfriend is with me on New Year's Eve. The following morning, it is 2023, New Year. Hallelujah, we made it. No end of the world. Positive voice, it says, hey, you want to try this now? We got this. I open the little Dremel tool. Here's my little Dremel tool. And a little tip. I begin shaving down the sides of my upper dentures. So here's the weird part. What happens when they give us impressions is that this soft, squishy, I don't know what to call it, the squishy stuff, it goes up and then it goes around because that's the shape of our face. That's the shape of our jaw. And when they remove that impression, the sticky, the mold, it resumes that shape. So what happens is when you're handed your dentures, this part here around the side, it curls and it wants to hang on because that's how the impressions show it to be. In reality, you can't put these dentures with these claw hooks on top. You can, but it's gonna hurt it's gonna hurt. So what I did on New Year's of 2023 was I took my dentures and I took my Dremel and I just and I grinded that hook part away. And oh my gosh, you guys, after these hooks became erased, now they can slide right up into my mouth and it is freaking, the little light bulb in the back of my head just went off. It exploded. Fireworks, the music, the rainbows, everything, you know. Positive voice was like, I told you so. I freaking told you so. And negative voice, nowhere to be found. It was beautiful. It's hard to explain with words. Here's how I wrote it in my story. They curl around my upper gums. When I try to put them in my mouth, this curl hits my gums and it makes it impossible to get around my gums. Much like the first time with Old Doc, where I had to literally snap my bottom dentures around my gums, you know, this time there was a bit more of a challenge. So I shaved it off until there was no more curl. And I went into the bathroom, I rinsed them, and I put them in my mouth, and they fit. And I came out of the bathroom, I smiled at my girlfriend, and I spoke a couple words because I could finally talk. I could finally say my letter F and my letter S. Yeah, frog, snake, snow. I cried. I hugged her and I cried a whole bunch. And Happy New Year's, right? You know, this is what all this year of struggle, more than a year, I don't know. Guys, it's just crazy, right? Over the weeks and months that followed, I practiced, I learned, I put the denture stuff in my dentures, then I peeled it out, I tried again and again, I got the amount right, I got the feels right. Negative voice grew more and more silent. My confidence had returned with an explosion. I had teeth again, I could talk again, I could look like a normal, no more freak up in here. And yes, the 6% of my physical body that were my teeth had changed, lots. But the whole of my emotional being, well, that changed so much more, you guys, so much more. More than 50% of what's upstairs is different now than what it was. So I was kinder to myself and to others. I was more compassionate. I was able to see the struggles of others, you know, the struggles in their lives, and I could hear their negative voices as if it were my own. That's what happens when you listen to your negative voice for so long and then you stop and then you realize you start to hear it in other people. It's pretty crazy. It's been a whole nother year and my dentures are close to comfortable. I wear them when I eat a steak. I take them out when I eat spaghetti. I find myself looking at other people's teeth more. And when I see someone who has dentures like me, I'm quick to say hi and, you know, ask them how they're doing and tell them to keep going. Tell them not to listen to their negative side. And yeah, so that's the first part of my story. So, well, let's see. What can I do? What can I tell you? How can I help? Firsties, the most important thing The most important thing in this whole video, you know, roll it back and watch it again and again. Here it comes, ready? You are not alone. You are just not alone. You really aren't. I read every single one of the comments on my videos. Thank you all. I know that there are people that struggle with dentures, struggle with their lives, their bodies. I mean, people got struggles, right? That's kind of what this life thing is all about. So remember, no matter what, never forget, you are not alone. You are not alone, people. That's the first lesson. What's the first lesson? You are not alone. Second, there is so very much to learn. The more you can learn, the better. It's like school, only it happens out here. It's the real world, right? You need to learn the vocabulary, and there's a lot of it. Adjustments, you know, impressions. These words had no meaning to me at all in the beginning. You need to learn about your body, your mouth, how it works, how it operates, how to tell when something how to tell when something just isn't quite right. So this denture fit, and I'll tell you about it in a little bit, there will be times when it will malfunction. It will do something weird, and you have to be slow enough to recognize that, oh, something's not right. Take your dentures out, look at them, pause. This is going to take time, guys. On your drive to work in the morning with your kids in the back seat screaming and, you know, traffic, this is not the time to try to fix my dentures. You cannot multitask this, guys. It takes patience, and it takes listening, and turn the autopilot off. And if something's not right, stop, figure it out. Another great example that I can illustrate for you, hopefully, is that the dentures, the creation, the maintenance, everything about dentures, the whole industry is operated by people that never use their own product. Think about, let's ponder it. Let's say you want to try to eat something new, right? Let's say you've never had bread before. So you go to the bread store and you find the bread baker, the bread maker, is that what they call them? And you're like, hey man, I'm thinking about trying some bread. Can you recommend some? You know, which one's your favorite? And the bread maker, he's back there in his apron, he's covered in flour. He pats his hands down a little bit, he looks you right in the eye and he says, I don't eat bread, that shit's nasty. Who would eat bread? Come on. Peons, peasants, right? Denture makers do not use their own product. Yeah, look around your dental office, look around. These people all have perfect smiles. They are never going to use dentures. They are never going to need dentures because they take absolute awesome care of their teeth. Otherwise, they could not be there. How would you feel if you walked into a dentist's shop and every single one of the girls behind the counter, the assistants, the doctor himself, has all got black, ugly, messed up teeth going sideways, you know, teeth going out crooked. This is my mouse, by the way, so I can rotate my screen so I can see my story. So when they tell you what they think about your dentures, it is only what they've been told, only what they've been taught, because they don't get to experience this themselves. And that creates a real awkward situation because you're not smart, I'm not smart, we don't know what we're talking about, and the people that do seem to know what they're talking about, they've never experienced it by themselves. They don't know. So we're all idiots. Get used to it. It's okay. So if you do want to know something about dentures, go ask somebody that has dentures. It's not rocket science, okay? They may not have the right answer for you because every mouth is different and unique, like a fingerprint, little snowflake up in there, but they're going to give you actual experience, and that is something that you're going to need, you know. Go to the YouTube, watch videos, talk to people. The dentist, they can only tell you so much, okay? That part's pretty important. If you leave me a comment in my videos and you say, hey, please contact me, I will contact you and I will tell you what I've done and what's worked and what hasn't worked. I don't know. The only way I've known what I've known now is because I've walked the walk. I've been out here doing it for like 2 years now. Yeah. The first year without teeth, the second year with teeth. So I'm not an expert. Thirdsies. Is that what we're on? 3? What was number 1? You're not alone. Number 2, you got a lot to learn. Number 3, guys, do not spend a ton of money on your first set of dentures. Do not. I made this mistake. I didn't know any better. The cost of your dentures is not going to make it any better or easier. They're the same piece of acrylic. And what's going to happen is your gums are going to change. In a few months, they're just going to change. And nothing's going to fix that. Nothing's going to stop that. You can keep on trying to wear your dentures with your gums changing, but it's going to suck. It's going to be a struggle. The beginning, you want the cheapest dentures you can get. Consider these just a trial, a practice set, you know, and maybe they're $300. I think the cheap ones for mine were about $350 each. There was like a $700 for both upper and bottom, and that was the cheapest I could find. The original first set that, you know, sit there in the coffin, those were about $4,000, 2 for top, 2 for bottom. I would say it takes you about a year before your gums have solidified and are hardened. And guys, there's a weird thing about the human body where if we are injured, if we are damaged, if we want to recover, much like physical therapy, you've got to use it and abuse it. And for our gums, when we chew on hard things, difficult things, you know, an example is potato chips. If you take a potato chip and you chomp on it with naked gums, God, it hurts. It hurts so bad. But you know what? Your gums are learning with every instance of pain that we need to be stronger. We need to be harder. And when you exercise and you lift weights, your muscles are literally tearing. They're tearing themselves. But in that process, they regrow stronger. Does that make sense? So if you spend the first year of life without teeth eating scrambled eggs and SpaghettiOs, your gums are not going to learn. They're not going to solidify. They're not going to get harder. You literally have to push yourself. I know, it sucks. Push yourself a little bit, okay? If it's been a while, eat a piece of pizza, you know? Chomp on some bread, toast. Work your way up to the potato chips, okay? It took me a while. It took me about a year, but I could stick a stack of Pringles in my mouth and slowly gum them to death. Oh my gosh. But, you know, I'll give you some tips in a minute to help. So yes, do not pay money for your first dentures, okay? I asked for impressions, I gave them my money, and they gave me their product. On their side of the fence, they did nothing wrong. You know, if your mouth changed or you're too uncomfortable to wear your teeth, that's your fault. That's not their fault. So yes, wait it out. I know it's hard, it sucks, but you're not going to get a refund from a dentist. You're not going to get a refund from Dentures because you took them home and you put them in your mouth. Nobody else is going to take those dentures and reuse them or resell them. They can't melt them down. I thought that they could. I thought you would just stick them in the oven, you would melt them down, you would take that acrylic, pour them in a different mold, but nope. Yes, if you go at your dentist or your denture maker with anger or you make their day suck, they're going to respond just the way you and I would. They are people too. So they will tell you to jump off a cliff. They already have your money. They don't care. Side note, don't be afraid to go get a second opinion or a third opinion. Okay, so every mouth is different. Every mouth is different. That's just how it is. There's only so much that your dentures can do. When I was learning about adhesives back in the beginning, I watched Heather B. Heather B is the denture diva, and if you don't know her, go check her out. She's awesome. She's an amazing person. She helped me a whole bunch. I still owe her. I still think about her. Heather B, you are awesome, girl. She told me about the denture fit. Guys, the idea of putting adhesive in my mouth is just nasty. I do not want to ever try adhesive. I never have, but I've done the denture fit. Where's my denture fit? Okay, so this is my denture fit stuff, and it is a little bit pricey. Dentures is not for the poor people, guys. If you're gonna do this, denture fit, yeah. So what it is a little syringe. So this is a little syringe full of what I'm going to call gel. I don't know what better to call it. It's a silicone, and you're going to squirt this in your denture. Press down, squirt it all in there, and stick it in your mouth. And it takes about 3 to 4 minutes to solidify. And what this gel does is when it solidifies, it's not hard. It's almost a squishy gel is the best word I can come up with. Again, I don't know this vocabulary. There might not be this vocabulary, but think of your denture like a shoe. And your foot is your gums, okay? If you put your foot into a hard cast shoe, it's gonna suck, guys. Who would do that? We created socks to, cushion, right? Like it makes it a little bit softer down there. It fills in the cracks because your shoe is not perfectly sized to fit your foot. So what the Denture Fit stuff does is it acts like the sock in between your dentures and your mouth. So I can't really show you here. I'll throw up some video or some pictures and you can see kind of what I'm talking about, because the stuff dries invisible. It's an amazing product. Guys, none of my videos have been sponsored. I don't do this for money. I do this to help people and to help myself to some degree. So I am not sponsored by Denture Fit. I do not have any sponsors. The only reason I tell you about it is because it's freaking amazing. I love this stuff, and there are some secrets, okay? So yes, every mouth is different. Yes, the amount of Denture Fit is important. I made a video last year where I had put too much Denture Fit into my denture. And what happens is it squeezes your gums super tight. Do you guys remember the clothespins? I put some clothespins on the back of my fingers to show you, how much it was pinching. Don't do that. Start small. You can start with just a half a syringe, or, maybe after you've tried a half a syringe for a week or two, go back in and do 1.5 syringes, maybe do 2 syringes. A lot of this is going to depend on how long ago you had your dentures, created. So I think in each one of these boxes, there's either 2 or 3 syringes. I think for 5 syringes, I pay about $80. So I don't want to do the math, but $80 for 5 syringes. Usually 1 or 2 will be good for my uppers, and usually only 1 will be good for my lowers. And the stuff it's amazing, guys. It probably lasts me about 3 months. So, depending on how hard I scrub on them, in the mornings when you, put in your cleanser and you take that little toothbrush and you start to scrub on your stuff, if you scrub hard, the Denture Fit's going to come off a little easier. It's going to start to flake off. It's going to start to peel. If you go easy on it and make it last. You scrub the inside of your dentures, the teeth part. So right here on the inside is where all the crap goes, because that's the food, that's the saliva. Scrub that part really good. The other side is pretty squishy, and the Denture Fit creates this perfect little vacuum where food can't get up and around it. So there's not a whole lot of need to scrub on that side, when you cleanse your stuff. Peeling the Denture Fit out can be a difficult thing. I've used tweezers. I've seen people use the plastic knife trick. You guys know about the plastic knife trick? So if you go to the fast food restaurant, you can get these almost anywhere, guys. These are like the plastic spork set. You got your fork, your spoon. This one's even, it's got some salt and pepper, so that's cool. So what you want is the knife. And if you look at this knife real close, you can kind of see these little scratchy bits. And these perforations, when you go to remove your old Denture Fit, you can get this knife in there and it's flexible and it will scratch a whole bunch, and it won't damage the acrylic. It will only scratch up the gel. Get as much of the old gel out as you can before you put the new gel in. That's kind of important. I thought in the beginning, it's all gel. It'll overlap, right? It doesn't. For some reason, it will peel away and the new gel won't be able to get behind it. I don't know. Start fresh every time you do this, okay? And in the beginning, it's gonna feel weird. If it's pinching too much, if you have, here's the analogy again. If you put 3 socks on and you cram them into your shoe, yes, you can still do it. Is it gonna hurt? Yeah, it's gonna feel crazy because you've got too much sock. So that is what happens when you do too much Denture Fit gel. And the right amount, I can't really tell you. Start with 1 syringe, see what happens, pay attention, learn, okay? Guys, I hit a couple milestones. I found myself being able to do it, and every day I would go to the store and I would buy a new package of something that I thought I couldn't eat, you know? Cashews, oh my gosh, peanuts. One of the things that really helped me, I was not a big fan of licorice. Licorice to me seemed like, you know, a kid's snack, right? This is silly. I don't know. But guys, you go and you find the really fresh licorice. You don't want the really super hard stuff, okay? So this fresh licorice, sometimes it's a pain in the butt. It's gonna be loud. And yeah, it breaks away easy. Sometimes you gotta peel this stuff apart because, you know, it's candy. Let's see if I can do it. Come on, Bishop. Come on. It's all sticking to the package. Oh yeah, my hands are nice and slippery now. So what I'm trying to tell you is that this stuff, oh my gosh, what you want to do is you want to break off about this much. And you want to stick it all the way in the back of your mouth, kind of like a horse when they put that bridle thing on the horse and they've got that bit that goes way in the back. So what this does is you put it in the back of your mouth and you slowly put pressure on it. You've got both sets of teeth in, and the pressure is what's going to help. Guys, it feels amazing. It's a lot like a little baby that is cutting teeth, you know, getting its first teeth, and you give them something called a teething biscuit, or I don't know, a teething ring. It used to be made of like this squishy rubber stuff, almost like the Denture Fit gel. And a baby will chew on it because the pressure on the wound feels amazing. It really helps your gums to grow and to solidify because they're feeling that pressure. And that pressure is coming from your own dentures. So your own dentures are being pushed into your mouth. It's kind of like after you put the sock on and the shoe on, now you go for a run. And every footstep, every chomp feels better and better. And you get used to it. And I must have eaten 17,000 bags of licorice, you know, just this much at a time. You stick them back there. It helps so much, and it's practice. So it's progress. So you just do it, and trust me, you will love licorice at some point, you know. One of the things that I enjoyed a whole bunch as a kid was M&Ms, and the peanut M&Ms, oh my gosh, you guys, peanut M&Ms are the shit. I reached a point where I thought I would never be able to eat peanut M&Ms again. My negative side was so loud and so powerful, it said, give it up, just let it go. And positive side, sorry, did I mix those up? I just said, you know what? I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep trying. So here's some proof, right? Okay, here's how far I've come. And I know it's easy with the deep fakes and the AI, and who knows what's real anymore, right? Bishop, are you real? Are your teeth real? So I'm going to show you. You can kind of see my Denture Fit just hanging off the bottom there. Can you see it? It's starting to flake away right there. But yeah, this is with no adhesive. My tongue lifts it up and I pop them in there. The first time I watched somebody take their teeth out on a YouTube video, it was actually an instructional video for the Denture Fit stuff. But I saw this guy take his teeth out and I watched it probably 14 times. I thought, oh my gosh, this is real. You can really do this, right? This is possible. So here we go. My upper gums take a little bit more to get out, because there's so much more suction, and that's kind of what you want. So I kind of wiggle them sideways a little bit. That's fancy. And yeah, there's my, you can kind of see my denture pit. It's all wrapped around the top. Yeah. And the power of the suction, pretty cool. So, peanut M&Ms, they're the shit. I started real slow, and I think I would put one in my mouth, and I would just wiggle it around. And at one point, I tried to find 2 equally sized M&Ms, and I would put one on one side and one on the other side, and it makes it even. So here we go. 1, 2. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys, that's so good. Tonight, when people ask you, what'd you do today? You can be like, I watched this guy on YouTube, he ate some M&Ms. It was good. So good. So yeah, when we're done with this video, I'm gonna eat this whole bag of M&Ms, probably half of the bag of licorice. So, it can be done. I have eaten crunchy chicken, pizza, burgers. I actually had some corn on the cob last summer, and oh my gosh, I cried. There was butter just dripping down in my shirt. You know, I probably needed a bib. But corn on the cob. I can't bite into an apple. For some reason, the front of my gums, my bottom gums, they're real thin. They're just real thin. They were really damaged. So I'll show you a picture here. This is how skinny the front of my gums are, and they're very quick and easy to let go. If I try to bite into a banana, the bottom denture will flip up in the back because the front goes down. I know, hard to explain. I don't really care about apples. I will slice them up and stick them in my mouth, and I'll chomp on them in the back, you know. My choices are, I can go have the implants for about 25 grand, and I will snap your dentures in, and that's a pretty good hold, right? It's a little post goes into your jaw. Or I can try the adhesive, which might give my bottom dentures a slightly better hold, but again, I don't really care. I can talk normal again, I can look normal again, I can smile. It's hard smiling. I don't really know how to smile, but I'm practicing, I'm working on it. And when it comes to eating foods, you know, some stuff is just not worth it. I'm okay, you know, you're okay too. So it's just food. Think about all those poor African kids. They have no idea what peanut M&Ms are, no idea what Twizzlers are. Again, not sponsored. Okay, I'm sure I have other stuff that I could talk about. Yes, there's a whistle sometimes when you speak. I just did it. It's a little weird. I'm self-conscious about it, which is fun. So if it happens, it's just part of the learning, right? We're gonna relearn how to talk, relearn how to eat. And if you catch yourself with a little whistle, it's okay. It's just life. Relax, okay? The biggest thing I wanna say is thank you. Thank you for watching. I'm here for you guys, okay? You are not alone, and you can do it. I did it. Yes, it took me a couple years. Maybe I was stubborn, you know, maybe I drank too many beers. I don't know, but yeah, happy 2024. I'm good, and I will see you in the next video. If you made it this far, let's do some bonus clips, why not? Okay, here, I got some stuff to show you. Some of this stuff is pretty funny. One last thing, when you use your Dremel and you're fixing your dentures, do not press too hard. Once you erase some denture, you cannot put it back on. This is only an eraser, okay? It only takes away, subtracts. There's no way to put dentures back on. And if you go to your dentist or your denture maker and you say, hey doc, I messed up my dentures because I was trying to do my own adjustments, they're going to laugh at you. There's no warranty. One other quick fun story. I did learn that dentures can break. I thought they were indestructible, you know, like that's me. I'm like, hey, these are indestructible, right? Nah. So what happened was I had my bottom dentures in my case, and I was at work. I was driving the bus, and it must have been time for a break or time to switch. So I took out my top dentures, and I sort of put them into my case with a bit of force, I guess, with a quickness. They must have just hit each other just right, and boom, my bottom denture snapped. It just broke. I can show you a couple pictures, but here's the result. Here's half a bottom denture, and here's the other half a bottom denture. And yeah, they cracked. These were my cheap pair, my $350, so I didn't get quite as upset. You know, it would have been a bigger deal, I think, if my more expensive dentures had been broken, but you can break dentures, okay? It does happen. Excuse me. M&Ms. Whew. They are breakable. They are not indestructible, so be careful, especially when you click one next to the other or one into the other. For some reason, the two, you know, one is gonna get popped. And like I said, my bottom denture is so skinny, so thin at the bottom that I've learned to take care of it. I get pretty selective about how I treat my dentures because they are an important part of who I am now. That 6%, I'm gonna take care of these ones. I didn't take care of my original teeth so well, but you know, live and learn, right? All right, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you very much. Bonus clips, let's do it. Boom, bonus. Yeah, this is what it's like, you know, driving the bus, right? Just driving all by yourself, there's no coworkers. You're pretty much stuck in this little cubicle, and it's pretty tight in here. Like if you got some claustrophobia, if you're confined spaces, I got window right here, I got protective shield, plexiglass here, I've got a windshield right in front of me, so I'm pretty much surrounded by glass. What's up, other bus driver? You know, you gotta wave at your coworkers because you might not be able to talk to others, but you know, you can wave, so that's the best you can do, right? So yeah, no music. People think, hey, there's music in the bus. There is no music in the bus. It's pretty quiet. If you got no passengers, nobody to talk to for long periods of time. I don't know if you can hear it, but I got an announcement lady. Her name is Vale, with a V, Vale. And she just kind of, you know, just calls out the street name. She says, we are approaching this and this. And, you know, it's a reminder that there are other human voices out there, because after a while you hear your own voice over and over and over, and it's the only voice you hear, you know. It's a lot like therapy. You spend enough time by yourself in this little box, and you start to think of everything imaginable, you know. It's almost like you are daydreaming because your mind wanders, and sometimes my mind will think about something, sometimes it'll get stuck on something, and if it's negative, you know, you will punish yourself and you will become your own worst enemy, and that negative thought will swirl, and it'll get bigger as it's swirling. It's a little snowball right now, but it gets pretty big pretty fast. So I try to hold on to a positive thought, you know, something that's really good, gives me strength, helps me get through the day. So I'm constantly on the lookout for positive thoughts. A lot of times it's positive people. You know, I think about some of my coworkers are great people, and we will support each other because we're all stuck in this box together. And when you know what it's like to be stuck in the box, you know what it's like for others. So I think about some of the things that they have said to me, you know. I had one coworker recently tell me that it didn't matter how many teeth I lost or how much hair I lost. He says it doesn't make the bishop, you know. So I like that. So yeah, I protect my peace. I get a lot of challenges out here. I got challenges on the outside of the bus. I got challenges on the inside of the bus because you never know who's going to get on, you know. They might have problems or issues. They might want to talk to you. They might want to vent on you. They might want to tell you about how horrible their life is, and you just got to sit there and take it because I'm strapped down here. I can't go anywhere, guys. So yeah, I think about positive things. I try not to let the negative things get too big. Sometimes I just sing a song because, you know, you gotta have something inside. So I do a lot of the 80s power ballads. I memorize the lyrics and, you know, I can sing them if I need them. If I need to break up something, right? Break up my train of thought. Break out into a song, right? Every now and then I get a little bit angry and I need to get out to cry. Rah. Sometimes I don't even sing the words right, but that's okay. Turn around, every now and then I get a little bit terrified, but then I see the look in your eyes. Turn around, bright eyes, every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now, tonight, and I need you more than ever. And even if my tone sucks, in my head it sounds like, you know, the song. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be making it right, 'cause we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Your love is like a shadow on me all of the time. I don't know what to do, I'm always in the dark. We're living in a powder keg and giving off sparks. I really need you tonight. Forever's gonna start tonight. Forever's gonna start too. Once upon a time I was falling in love. Now I'm only falling apart. Nothing I can say. Total eclipse of the heart. Once upon a time there was light in my life. Now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can do. Total eclipse of the heart. Gotta have your song, people. If you don't have your song, probably time to find it, because you never know, you know. If I was in a jail cell right now, I'd have more room than this. But if I don't have a head full of good stuff, I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do. So we are all in a jail cell. We are all in this little box. And it's very important what you put in your box, what you fill your box up with, you know. Is it good stuff? Is it positive? Is it good songs? Is it bad songs? I do have some bad songs in there, yeah. I do like Adele, Set Fire to the Rain. I'll do that one when it's the end of the night. You gotta stop for railroad tracks. I know, I'm in a bus, I'm a professional driver. Nobody else has to stop for railroad tracks, but I gotta stop for railroad tracks. I'm special. Don't make fun of me. You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash, somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way the words do when they settle neath your skin. Kept on the inside, no sunlight, sometimes a shadow wind. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. brave. What you wanna say? Let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. That's how I practice with my teeth. Be brave.